Next, we have Molina, and Jonathan will be joining us to share the information coming out for them.
Good afternoon. I'm Michael Camo, Molina Healthcare. I'm the Northeast Regional Sales Director, which also includes the Great Lakes region and obviously Michigan. This is Latoria Jackson. She is our account manager, and she helps with a lot of the ethical hierarchy and top of house. We have Javon Jackson. A lot of you probably have met him already. He is our broker manager for most of Western Michigan, but they collaborate, we all work together, and I think a lot of you already know Jonathan Roldan, who's Detroit area and Eastern Michigan for Molina Healthcare. Thank you.
This is a test. Oh, watch your water. All right, again, my name is Jonathan Roldan. Thank you so much for being at, to Tim, to Steph, and to Josh for putting this together and for having us here. We're so grateful to be here. To Diversity's carrier debate. So, we want your vote, and so we're going to be rolling out a plan for this AEP season. No, just kidding. So, that's myself. As you know, Javon that's my running mate, and this is my campaign manager. All right, so. Coming to our table, and by the way, we do have a raffle going on. If you haven't yet put your business card and you'd like to be part of the raffle, can you raise your hand, please? Okay, because I'll have Latoria walk around and pick up your business cards, like Penny's right here, and we'll put your card in there for a raffle later on.
Yeah, I'll come back.
All right, the product disclaimer, as all carriers know, October 1st is when everything goes into place. Again, I only have half an hour, so I'm not going to go into too much detail over everything. But this is the lineup for the day. Or am I talking too loud? I'll just do this. Okay, I like talking. I like mics. So. All right. So a little bit about Molina. We're founded in 1980 by Dr. David Molina. He had a real passion for the low-income population. So we started out as a Medicaid company. You can see how many 5.6 million members. Established in 1980. Over 16,000 employees, all for remote. And then you can see here what Molina really tries to achieve, to improve the health outcomes of our members, enhance member experience, enhance provider experience, and reduce health costs, but also from Javon and I's perspective, to enhance your experience as your broker managers, to enhance the broker experience as well. All right, we offer 3 types of insurance: Medicare, Marketplace, and Medicaid. Medicaid surmises 80% of our revenue. That's a key cog in kind of the whole presentation, but really you can see the national market share, very favorable for us. Sorry, I'm talking too loud again, but very favorable for us. We are ranked 4th on Medicaid, 15th for Marketplace, and 7th nationally for Medicare, which you guys probably didn't know. This is our vision, to envision a world where effective medical care is available to every person, no matter the impact of social determinants. And the mission is to raise inequities in the way different populations are treated and served, and to provide high-income health care to low-income families and individuals. These are our key supplemental benefits for the year, and we're going to go over this in later slides as well. Dental, vision, hearing, fitness, OTC, and unlike other carriers, we do contract by SSBCI, special supplemental benefits for the chronically ill, in case you didn't know, and so there could be a case manager involved to obtain those additional benefits. And this kind of speaks to what I just stated before. Some of the major changes that we're having 2025 versus 2024 is in our dental. So we had a flexibility on our dental card in 2024. All the comprehensive coverage now is going directly to the vendor, and our vendor is the same with DentaQuest. Now this just speaks to the growth of Molina Healthcare. We've expanded into 3 states which are represented by the gold states: Mississippi, Nebraska, and our re-entrance into New Mexico. We've gone from 660 counties to 809, which is growth, right? That's what we're doing here in Molina. Okay, plans for 2025. We've doubled down. I've kind of hinted at that by talking about who we are from a Medicaid standpoint and the fact that we've been here for a while, since I believe 2006. We started out as a D-SNP company, and we're going back to our roots, okay, especially as Michael will talk about the D-SNP landscape. That being said, we are offering our full D-SNP, which is the Molina Medicare Complete Care and the Complete Care Select. So we're offering our full D-SNP and our partial D-SNP. This is our service area. None of it's changed. There's no changes for 2025. Again, these are some of the supplemental benefits that will be offered in 2025, and we'll get into that as we kind of drill down to the benefits as well. This is what the OTC and food and produce card will look like in Michigan for 2025. And this is our plan, our 2 plans. Again, I'm just going to go over the highlights. If you come to some of our trainings, which are more individual trainings where I'm able to talk more, because we're only allowed half an hour, because I do like to talk myself. I'm just going to hit some of the highlights here. We talked about the dental. On the full, $3,600 is the comprehensive coverage, again, going through DentaQuest. On the partial, it's $2,500. The big thing of note is on the bottom in the My Choice card area. We are going monthly with the food and produce as well as the OTC. So if the member qualifies on the full D-SNP, it's $200. It's still in buckets. The member still needs to qualify. I'll go over the qualification process here in a little bit. On the partial, it's $115. The breakdown is 125, 75, versus 75 on the full, 40 and 75 on the partial. Network, still the same, still a great network. Nothing's really changed. In fact, it's a little better from the standpoint. If does anybody do business besides David here in West Michigan? Okay, so basically in West Michigan, it was just Corwell Health that accepted our D-SNP only. Well, we're D-SNP only for 2025. So really, if there's issues with regards to providers or practices, please contact me or Javon. Sometimes our pod system doesn't talk well with our internal system, so we'll do everything we can to just figure out if what you're saying is accurate or not. And then here is Michael Kane, not my campaign manager, but my director, to talk about the changes in D-SNP landscape.
Let's see if this is loud enough. Is that better? All right, perfect. All right, next slide. So everyone knows there's a lot of changes with the SEPs, with the landscape, with D-SNPs in general, with the Inflation Reduction Act, and 3P, everything's going on in the industry. And CMS has stated the reasons they want to do this, but one thing to note, even though we don't offer a PPO D-SNP in Michigan, or actually anywhere, we're all HMO, is that CMS in the Inflation Reduction Act has stated publicly that they will reduce the out-of-network cost sharing for PPO starting in plan year 2026. So something to keep in mind as you see plans move around with some of our competitors, as you see changes, and when you're thinking about your members and how long you want to have them on plan, looking at our plan as an option, we've been here from the beginning. We're one of the original D-SNP offerings in the state of Michigan, and we are, like Jonathan said, we're returning to our roots. We're focusing on our core product. We are great at integrating care, and we'll talk about some of that in a minute. But Also contracting standards for dual-eligible special needs plans. For the lookalikes, the rules are changing there. And you can see that on the slides we have. I know we have limited time. CMS stated the reason they're doing this, the reason they're making these changes to the SEPs, is to increase the integration. We've all seen in certain states where you have a member that has Medicare with one company, their Medicaid with another company, they don't know who their case manager is, their claims get messed up, there's a lot of problems with this, and CMS is trying to improve this. And that we can all get behind. It seems a little bit tougher in the states where we're coordination only, and some of that's due to the fact that this is an MMP state as well for the demonstration product. But they want to improve that, they want to increase that. All plans will be, by 2030, integrated, or they will not exist. Dually eligibles do face a complex assortment of issues, so we're trying to accomplish that. And our history at a national level, you'll see too, and further slides will show what we do there. I've been to a lot of these rollouts in other states because I have a 5-state region, and I've seen a lot of slides that try to depict what's going on with the SEP change. And they're confusing. You look at it and you're like, there's all this stuff going on here, and it looks really complex. I try to make it as simple as possible. You have quarterly for LIS, and then for 2025, you have 2. You have 1 that'll help people move to a PDP, which is probably not how you're necessarily trying to grow your business. Or you also have the 1 that will allow them to go into an integrated care plan, which is a HIDE, a FIDE, or an AIP. And to date, the only state I've seen with a coordination only that has AIP is California. If you're unsure of these definitions and want to understand more about how these work, this is a great presentation to go through and dig in to see HIDE would be, or FIDE rather, would be your most integrated dual special needs plans. That's a fully integrated dual. Then you have a highly integrated dual. Coordination only would be the most basic level of coordination, which is confusing to a lot of brokers because they think, oh, I have a coordinated plan. No, it's a coordination only plan. And then applicable integrated plan is also a subset that could be for a coordination only, or it could be for a HIDE or FIDE. So it gets confusing, but they are all listed on CMS landscape file, which is available publicly on CMS's website. And if anyone needs a link to that, Jonathan could share it. Next slide, please. If you look at a national level, just to kind of see the impact of this, if you sell in multiple states, we did chart this out. At a national level, there are 3.39 million members that are in a coordination-only plan for DSNP. So a lot of changes are going to happen over the next few years, and you're going to see that. For a 5-year HIDE, you've got less than half. So everyone's moving towards this integration. We will show you, you can see on ours, that we are mostly, as a company, because of our Medicaid roots, because of the fact that we're great at that, we started as a Medicaid company, we worked our way up from the 80s. We know how to integrate. We have the MMP demonstration products. We're in the process of a lot of RFPs in a lot of additional states. Since the slide Jonathan showed earlier, we purchased Connecticut, so we're growing even more since the 18 states you've already seen. And then we have more than half of our products with integration. So as we're transitioning to that, we're going to be better able to serve, in most cases, an integrated product for your member. And if you ever talk to a member in Michigan that has Molina for DSNP, they're not really likely to move it very often. A lot of times they're very loyal to that product. It's been a long-standing product. It's got a good brand name in this market. And then I'll give it back to Jonathan for the Molina difference.
All right, thank you, Michael. And so part of the Molina difference is that HRA, which is the health risk assessment. So this is just being kind of transparent with you. There was some decisions based on CMS guidelines whether or not we were going to do payments on HRAs, and we were changing our vendors. So here's what we're doing. We are continuing with the payments. However, because we were waited so long because we wanted to see what CMS was going to do, and we're changing vendors. So for those of you that have done Molina Healthcare enrollment, we use Icario. That's going to continue for the end of the year, okay? We're going to be moving to do the HRAs on DRX Connection. That's the goal, but it probably won't be available until after the new year, so during OEP. At that time, we'll be paying $100. If it happens before, great. That's what the goal is, corporately. But I would rather, what's the word, overpromise? No, underpromise and overdeliver. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So, You can see the utilization of this. We're the only carrier that qualifies our people, where the HRA is really done in a proper way, where we utilize the case manager to do an ICP, an ICT. It's basically to get the member healthier, because that's really the objective, one of the main objectives of insurance.
I have a
question here. Question?
For clarity, HRAs are not being paid for ADP.
Probably not. Probably not.
But HRA is being paid for just a decent profit.
Correct. Which is, that's our offering for 2025. They had asked, just to repeat, because I know Steph's going to ask, the question was, are HRAs being paid for Molina Healthcare, and are HRAs going to be offered during AEP? All right. Case management, I already talked about. This is why, another reason as to why Molina. It's really the case manager. The RN really takes care of the member and brings them to a point to try to sustain them to be really, and get really healthy. The concierge team. I don't know other carriers if they have a concierge team. We created one a couple of years ago. They're tremendous. We just came back from our sales conference, and again, for them to kind of share for us as what they do. They are proactive people. And I see Sherry shaking her head like, yeah, they're proactive people in helping the member make sure everything's okay. They got their cards. They proactively contact the members 90 days after their enrollment. They contact them before their enrollment. They're in constant contact with them. They'll even work with you if you have a problem with Molina. So,
Okay, wait, Patrick.
yeah.
Do we have to contact the case manager to sign each client, or just do we have one?
Well, the case manager works directly with the member. They want stuff, or everybody, they want to know, or Penny wanted to know, relative to the case manager, do you have access to the case manager? Typically, the broker doesn't.
Then you said that they'll work with us.
I said the concierge team.
Oh,
The concierge. Concierge team, yes. Yep.
But anyone on the board, not whoever.
Yes. Yeah. All right, the MAC, MolinaAgentCenter.com. It is a website that doesn't require any passwords, no username. It's a free-flowing standalone website. It's your opportunity for, there's 3 tabs. There's a training tab where you can catch Javon and I's trainings virtually and in person, where we can go into more depth about some of the decent landscape changes and other things about Molina. The events tab has our national trainings, and then the resources is our library for the brokers for all things Molina. And again, that's MolinaAgentCenter.com. The Molina Marketing Center. You only have access to this if you are ready to sell and want to be ready to sell for Molina. If you don't, you won't have any access to any of the plethora or library of materials and resources available to you, such as kits, postcards, flyers, business cards, etc., etc. And you can create your own stuff too by putting a QR code in there as well, which can send a link to your own personal stuff as well. The broker portal is new. This was created about 6 months ago. And it has everything, and it's redefined to have everything in there, from RTS status to, for diversity, for downline information. If you do have your own agency, you can also see your commission statements as well as your book of business reports. It also has links to the pod, the MAC, MolinaHealthcare.com, and other resources as well. Integrated eligibility check. We partnered with Optum effective October 1st, so you don't have to contact myself, Javon, or the BSU as much. You'll be able to check eligibility for yourself on DRX Connector, available October 1st. And again, because we're only allowed at half an hour, and I know you guys are extremely hungry, we've sent our presentations, all the carriers have, to diversity, so you can obtain this presentation from them as well. You have a question? Yeah, okay. Or you can come back to the table. Do you have a question?
When is the last day that you can get contracted with you?
When is the last day you can get contracted with
In
us?
order to sell in AEP.
I would say anytime before AEP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You don't have like an October, you have to be contracted.
Correct, you can contract anytime. We have people get contracted during the AEP. Yeah. Yeah, the blackout period, we're kind of past, so. ESU, this is, to me, the best in the game. I talk to them pretty much on an almost daily, if not weekly basis. You don't have to memorize the number and all the emails with your customer service. This is your customer service. All this information can be found on the Mac. And then contracting, if you haven't contracted, you need to complete your AHIP. If you're not currently contracted with Molina, you need to contact Diversity. If you haven't completed our certification, it's about 15 to 20 minutes. Enrollment options, DRX Connector, and paper is available to you. The link for DRX Connector can be found on the broker portal or the Mac as well. And then finally, 800-665-3072, 800-665-3072. That's the member services number. I have some closing comments I'd like to close before lunch. I'll give it to Michael first for any other closing comments.
Sure. As you can see, we've invested more in our ancillary benefits. We've increased our food more than double. We want to grow this market with you. We've also, in the past, just completed a transition from MMP members in the state of California. We're going to be doing that here as well, because all MMP demonstrations are going to end at the end of plan year 2025, which is coming up pretty soon. And we always like to partner with the right brokers that are going to help us move that business. We're looking for that. So we want the right partners that like that DSNP business, that like that Dole space, that want to work with us. If you're selling DSNP, I really urge you to get contracted. If you haven't gotten contracted yet, we're going to be doing a lot in the state. We're going to continue to grow. See that we've got a really solid plan. And if you've been to a lot of these and you've seen a lot of different carriers, you see a lot of uncertainty and volatility and a lot of changes happening. We're the same. We're still going forward. Our DSNP is exactly like it was. A little bit of an increase here, a little bit of an increase there. We're going to continue to support you. We're focused on the DSNP client. We do that really, really well, and that's our focus. And we do not offer a single non-commissionable plan. So we're very broker focused, which I think is really important right now.
Yeah, for the SSBCI, what criteria do you need for qualification? And if they don't qualify, how does that adjust your numbers for the food and so forth over the counter?
The qualification is we follow CMS's guidelines for what determines a member is chronically ill. Those conditions I can get for you, Randall. But basically, I would say at least 9 out of every 10 do qualify. If you have high blood pressure, you're going to qualify. So
it's a really high percentage. But please stop by our table. Urge you to get a contract if you hadn't. We'd love to support you, and we look forward to you guys all having a great AEP.
And before I send you for lunch, my closing comments are kind of this. The DSNP landscape is really changing. CMS really wants to align Medicaid and Medicare so that the DSNP member has the same carrier for both. That's the route we're going. We're going to be, as you saw the different types of DSNPs, we're currently coordinated. So you can't offer us in 2025 only AEP, OEP, valid SEP, okay? Moving forward, next in 2026, as Mike alluded to, we're getting rid of MMP, right? We're going to be FIDE, so we're going to be able to offer monthly. At some point, I think all carriers will have to be this way, so that by 2030, everybody has to be FIDE, right? So the question is what carriers are going to be around? We're one of them. I stated 80% of our revenue comes from Medicaid. That's who we are, right? So you're going to have a Medicaid contract in order to operate as a DSNP player in the state and in the country. That's where Molina stands. That's where we're going to be, right? So we're just like your mom, right? We've been here for a while. How many people here love their mom? Right? You would not call your mom a cuss word, right? So I'll leave you with this. Come home to mom, come home to Molina, and vote for Molina this AEP season. All right, thank you.